Hey, hello, how we doing? Hey, how's it going tonight? You know what? I didn't even check my settings real quick. Once again, there we go. That's better. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to My Manic Mondayz, the movie and mental health show. My name's CJ Robles. I'll be your host for this evening. Welcome, welcome. We have a great episode tonight. Mark Lamb is in the hizzy. It's going to be a great show when Mark Lamb's here. He's going to drop knowledge. He's going to be attentive. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for hanging out. You're going to love Jesse D'Angelo. So let's me. I got to kind of start fast today. Usually I do a slow pace, let everybody come hang out and whatnot, but I kind of got to go fast. 'Cause I got to guess and I don't want to leave them waiting. So let's see if we can get this all wrapped up in under 7 minutes. All right. Well, not the show, my little segment here. So I did want to say that let's go with the quote. Look at this. I think I was thinking since I had an author or writer on that I might have a Stephen King quote, but I was like, who's crazier than Stephen King? Mel Gibson. Every man dies, not every man truly lives. What a great quote. Like that to me is I don't know. It's so simple. It speaks layers, and you got your many layers here of Mel Gibson's. You have the Braveheart, you have the Mad Max, you have the Riggs, you got Lethal Weapon, you got then you got the Forever Young, um, older, wiser Mel Gibson, but he's always been like I guess what it was like a perfectionist. He brings good material, but he also says a lot of crazy things. So, so maybe we can dig deep on what Mel Gibson has on anything with mental health. But so I went to a convention this weekend. It was in Bastrop, Texas. It was the Cult Classic, a small convention, and I did want to say that I had a great time just kind of hanging out for a couple people. Hey, Crystal, how's it going? Thank you for hanging out. Got two good guests already today. But I did want to talk about just the people that I ran into, the celebs, and who did I walk into first? Oh, no other than look who we have here, the animator, the reanimator himself, Jeffrey Combs. Look at that. Hey, nice to see you too, Crystal. Hanging out here doing a convention. So let's go. That was my first photo, and then I went down and I said, "Hey, look who this character is! It is James Reamer. The Warriors. I forgot he was in 48 Hours too. He's in Dexter, and he was also in Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation. I go, yo, anytime I see somebody from a Mortal Kombat movie, I gotta say what's up. And he was like, it was a fun flick to make. So I was like, that was cool. And then I actually had a great conversation with Mr. Mark Holton. See the jersey in the background? He's from he's from Leprechaun, but he's also from Teen Wolf. Uh, let's see. Can you come to MegaCon? I don't know. I don't know about Florida right now. I want to go, but I don't know if I can make it. I don't have the budget. Yeah, this con was very affordable, and I had to say that's what I did like about this con, and also met Lloyd Kaufman. There he is, Tromaville. I love talking to him real quick about just independent movies and the way he just this guy's he made a dent in cinema. So where's that photo I got of him? Here we go. Here's from one of his movies. There's Trauma. Kaufman. So yeah, it was fun to hang out and meet some celebs there. One of the coolest things I got to see at the horror convention was one of my designs worn by David. Look at that, David wearing my shirt. That was for the horror fans for healing that I did with Alan Danziger, Chainsaw Jerry. Yeah, here I got some shirts here I'm learning how to make T-shirts. I'm pretty getting decent now. They're starting to stick. So there's a side by side one, and oh wait, here we go. Here's this one. This one was professionally printed on, but I made the design. So there's this shirt that I ran it. It was in the convention. That was cool. Horror fans for healing. So we're gonna try to see. I gotta talk to Alan about this. See if we can get more donations and stuff. Figure out how to really get that thing going. I love giving back. Let's see what feels right. Dang, come Saturday, then just hang out. Watch oh yeah, Harlow's Haunt. I'm in that one a little bit in the not in the movie, but in the Joe Ridgely and I are in the special credits. Was he wearing a Biggie shirt? Nah, it's the shirt for me. Thank you. But anyways, so yeah, I actually got the new My Manic Mondayz shirt. Kind of figuring it out, just kind of get it going. Pearl and whatnot. But yeah, let's go. I got 7 minutes. I said I was going to have my guest in, so let's get him in already because I don't want to waste any more of his time. Doxel before we do a little shout out here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Indie Escape. We're still in association with them. So don't forget, they still got a bunch of great shows coming up. I will be doing a Crowd the Fun show soon. I got some people reaching out to me. And also, I wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Sam Pierce. They finished the Legend of El Chupacabra, the Chupacabra movie. Sam Pierce is the lead in that movie. I do have a role in that one. I have a tiny role in there. So y'all keep looking out for that one. That's going to be a good one coming out. But like I said, we got, I'm not keeping them waiting any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give your hands together and applaud for the writer of Dying Sheep. I'm gonna be here talking to him, questioning him. If you've got any questions about publishing, being a writer, or just creating content, this is the guy to go to. Without further ado, Jesse D'Angelo. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
What's new and exciting?
um, so I went to the convention and sorry, little parts. I went to the convention and one thing that I did get that I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'll open it with you real quick. It was a mystery box, and it was like a pizza mystery box. So it's for only $25. It wasn't a bad deal. This is from forgotten.com, Texas toy buyer at Gmail. So let's see what we got in here. This is a free. I mean, this is 4 items we have here. A little bit of what is this? Oh, this is the Godfather, but has Scarface. Oh, this is the Godfather little wallet. Nice. I have here a little Lego figures Actarine. I don't know which this is, but I like it. It's got a little VHS cover with it. Oh, I think this is the Ring. This is the Ring villain. I got a little Hellboy little thing and It patch. Not bad. So there we go. It's I like things like that because it brings the imagination to life when you're like I don't know, you go to these places, go to these conventions. I like little things that you can kind of do like not Easter eggs, but what do they call it, scavenger hunts, or just kind of be more interactive. I don't know,
Hmm.
because I go for the meeting we take, meeting talent, having questions,
Yeah,
asking people just because it's they're people already doing what I want to do. So I'm learning. So that's why I love that I have you on here. So let's talk
yeah.
about your book. Well, first of all, do you want to catch up with anything? You got any news you want to share out there?
Um, well, actually, what you just said about like the little goodies and grab bags reminded me of my favorite little item that I ever got from a convention. I think it was Mad Monster Party many years ago in LA, and John Favreau was there, and it was right when he was doing publicity for Cowboys and Indians.
Oh yeah.
I went up and said hello to him, and he was really nice and had a shitload of these custom made Cowboys and Indians coins. And I don't think they're gold plated. I mean, they look like gold, whatever they were. It was like these like heavy, nice kind of gold looking coins with Cowboys and Indians engraved on it on both sides. And he was just like giving them out as little like party favors to anybody that he felt like it. And that was like my coolest little token takeaway from uh from a convention. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome, man. I like that movie a lot too. I watched it twice in theaters.
Pretty good movie. I mean, it's fun. It's a pretty good movie.
Definitely
Um,
fun.
but yeah, no. To answer your question, what's new? I mean, really, what's new is this book. Obviously, just came out. Working on the next one already. Other than that, just kind of um, personal stuff. We talked before. My wife is pregnant with our first, so we're getting ready for that. So that's gonna, take up just a little chunk of my time
It's a little bit.
forward. So yeah, a lot of good things on the horizon. So yeah, I'm stoked about life right now.
That's good, man. And I'm like happy that you're seeing it like that too, because you're a writer, so that's a lot of time alone. And when you're your kid, they're gonna kind of
So
it's a great exchange.
wait till I haven't gotten sleep in a couple weeks and get back to me and see how I'm.
Yeah, I will tell you that much. I will through first experience, and I think everybody will go through this. That first month, that thing called sleep, just forget about it. Actually, for now on, just forget about sleep. That's no longer a friend of yours. It's no longer. It's a distant memory we used to have.
privacy. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's tiring, but I love it though. I love it. It's one of those I'm happy I'm here. But from let's talk about something like that, like birth an idea. Where did Dying Sheep come from? Because dude, come on, the beginning, the way you just begin the book already, like you bring us into the psychopath, like you bring us straight in there, and you just leave us there. What's up with that? Where did it come from?
So, okay, how did it come? So basically, I've always been a fan of 80s slasher movies and books, particularly the Friday the 13th series. But I'm also a big fan of Freddy. I'm a big fan of Chucky, Michael Myers, Candyman, even some lesser known slasher movies like The Burning
Yeah,
or Slumber Party Massacre or uh, The Prowler is a good one. But really, like my favorite has always been Jason, right?
okay,
So there's always been that thought in my head for a while of like, what if I did like my version of Jason? Something that would be in that genre, something that I could do multiple sequels to, and it could exist as one of those movies, right?
yeah,
The other part of it was, so this book is written in first person
yeah,
from from the killer's point of view, and I remember hearing I don't know, I think like last year or something, uh, there was an article, an interview with Stephen King, and he was talking about that he was really interested in writing a book about Jason Voorhees from Jason's point of view. And I was reading that and I was thinking like, ooh, like I don't know, but like it sounds like it could potentially be cool, but at the same time, it's like Jason's whole mystique is he doesn't talk. He's just a big dumb juggernaut basically. So it's like
yeah,
want to get inside his head. Like he really doesn't have much of a character. And if we gave him a character and we gave him all these thoughts in his head, it would be a different character and it wouldn't have that mystique of Jason. Um, but it got me thinking of like, well, what if I did that but I create a different character, a character that, you know, he's like, yeah, he's a big dumb brute, but he also thinks
yeah,
and can have an internal monologue and he can actually speak, and if I created a new character along those lines of Jason, but in a first person kind of thing. And so that kind of got me thinking along those lines. Also, this big boom lately in extreme horror. Like my first six books are all either horror or thriller, and in my eyes, they all have like some moments of like real extreme violence. Like there's some fucked up shit in them,
yeah.
and but they still I wouldn't classify them as extreme. But a lot of like extreme horror is, it's hot right now and everybody's talking about it. So I was like, okay, like you want some extreme horror? Like I'll
Yeah.
give you more. I'll push it as extreme as I could possibly go. I'll go way over the top with it. I'm gonna have as much fun with it as I possibly can, and so that's what I did. So and there you go. So this is what we get. And by the
Dude,
way, I got my
what's up?
shipment today. It took like 2 weeks too long, but I finally got my shipment of books today, and they just came in. And I hope you don't mind if I gloat a little bit.
No, dude,
Oh,
here. Here, let me get solo.
they're glossy. Oh, the
Boom.
the, the first one was a matte cover, and these new ones are glossy, and oh, they just look so good. And I couldn't be happier. Look, it's a nice skinny little book. So I couldn't be happier with how they look. I'm super stoked. So anyway, there's my shameless self
Nah,
promo.
that's what we're here for. I always want to plug more of your book. I do like so.
Me, keep talking about me.
This is your hour. This is
All
your
about
hour.
me.
I do gotta say though, with the oh, let's see, we got a question here. Mark Lamb. Oh,
Oh,
nice. How many pages is it?
oh, let's see. I think it's 109. Let me see. It is, yeah, 108, 108 pages.
It's not a bad read. It's kind of getting through all the grotesque stuff is the fun part. Um, so
Oh,
okay, so you said I'm off limits. I could ask whatever. When I did vision, you said the word right now. You said juggernaut. When I did visualize, like, okay, so there's two things. The way I read this book, I did two different approaches to it, and you said I didn't even think about it like you said it like we're looking through the point of view of the killer. I kind of took it as like I'm in the killers. Like the same way you said it, but I took it more as like an avatar thing where I was going around as a, again, that's POV basically, but I took it like as another step. But I wanted to share that I actually looked at it as I looked at the killer as the juggernaut from 13 Ghosts. So that's what I had
hmm.
going around as have you seen that movie before, the one with Matthew Lillard and Tony Shalhoub?
I've
Was
not seen 13 Ghosts, actually.
Yeah, there's a character they have here. It's called the Juggernaut. He's like 7 feet tall, monster. He's
Hmm.
like he was a killer, and but your character did something that I always thought would be a cool, and I think I might have seen a movie or like maybe a foreign movie that did this, but I always thought it'd be insane for someone to have their jaw removed by like they get shot. Your character actually, where did that come from? Why did you add that piece to it? Why did
So, boy, that was a totally separate thing that I started seeing like these YouTube videos, and I wasn't thinking about writing horror or anything. It was just like, you watch YouTube and certain things pop up, and you end up going down a rabbit hole and watching a few videos about this or that. Um, so somehow, I don't know how, but I fell into this rabbit hole of watching these YouTube videos about people who had attempted to commit suicide
yeah.
and failed. And so now, and like they put like a gun under their chin and shot themselves, but instead of shooting up into their head, they just blew the front of their face off,
Yeah.
basically. And and then afterwards they wind up having like face replacement surgery, which they can do now. And so you look at all these pictures of like before and after, and you see them with the other person's face,
Yeah.
surgically back on, and it doesn't quite look like the original person and whatever. But before they get these surgeries, these people who shoot themselves, it's like the nose is gone, the mouth is gone,
Yeah.
everything is stitched together, so that it'll work well enough until they get this face replacement surgery. And seeing these videos and seeing the pictures of what people look like after failing to commit suicide, it's like scary. I mean, you really fuck yourself up, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
scary. And and so I was watching those videos for a while because I'm a morbid sick fuck. And and then at some point when I was, thinking about this book and thinking about, okay, who is this killer? What's his thing? Is he gonna have like a special signature weapon? Is he gonna have a special mask? Is he gonna do, I'm trying to think of, and I remembered those videos, and I thought, well, what if he's somebody like that who tried to commit suicide, but he wound up just blowing the front of his face off, and now he's disfigured.
Yeah.
He also happens to be 7 feet tall and built like an ox, and he's a serial killer. So I just wanted to make him the biggest, meanest, ugliest, worst, over the top serial killer I could possibly make him. So I was like, I'm gonna give him this horribly scarred face, and yeah.
Well, you and the rage. I really pick up instantly the rage, and now that I'm like you're kind of just explaining it to me, I'm like, that's why, because we're going through the brain of a freaking rage monster that all it wants to do is kill. Now that you've really said Jason Voorhees was the inspiration, now I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally. I also like because he's subconscious about it. He talks about it, and so like so you feel like a little bit like, oh, he's already knows where he's like, I'm this hideous looking thing. I know, I'm coming after you. Even just what was I gonna say? Even just the fact that like your character, the way he speaks. You even put that in there, and I was just like, this is he's given. There's no sympathy for this character, but you pick
No,
you pick up you pick up why you're like, oh, I can see why you're provoked. Like I can see why you're upset.
there's no sympathy for him. He has no sympathy for anyone else. He is just unabashedly, unashamedly, just evil, and he loves it. And I wanted to make it very like casual, in his tone, very very informal. He's just talking as he's thinking about what he does, and it's not really much of a big deal to him, as he does these horrific, over the top things. So I just wanted to have fun with it. Really, like this is not something you put a lot of thought. Well, I see. As I'm saying that, like saying like, oh, it's not something you would put a lot of thought into, but like I did put a lot of thought into it. I can't help myself, but it's not one of my like longer books that like I would consider like a serious book.
Yeah,
It's like it's a joke. I'm writing this like to have fun, to be as over the top and silly as I want to be, uh, to kind of pay homage to those old Friday the 13th movies, but at the same time to poke fun at them.
yeah,
Um, so as opposed to something like Composite, which um, I think is probably my best book, but it's a dark book, it's a heavy book. It's a very serious book. It's got a lot of humor in it. I can't help myself with that, but it's still like some of my novels are like more, dark, serious, heavy. But then something like this, Dying Sheep, something like Doomsday Dogs, these novellas, they're almost like palate cleansers. It's like sometimes I just want to read something like short and sweet and fun and stupid, like and just kind of have fun with it. And
I
so
I do
that's
gotta say, I do gotta say that I have that one right here too. So, but the two books I do have of yours so far, the collection, it's if you're writing them and somebody's got to be reading them. So I do like the fact that I can unplug and kind of get lost in this little world that you. I mean, your description for Hell's kind of to me was kind of funny, where I was like, oh, so we're already there, huh? It's like,
pretty much, and in the sequel we're gonna meet Satan, and he's just gonna be like some douche, you know,
why,
you know.
why does he got to be a douche? Right? Why can't Satan just be efficient at his job and be a cool guy? He's always got.
No, I'm not saying. Well, he might be a
I'm
cool
joking.
guy.
I'm joking.
He's gonna be like some guy. Like it's not gonna be any gravitas or horns or anything. Like he's just gonna be some dude who's kind of like an asshole. And
Oh, you were saying.
I haven't figured the whole thing out, but the idea is that there's gonna be several sequels to this book,
All
much
right.
much like Friday the 13th. There's got to be like 10 of them, and each one is gonna get increasingly more and more preposterous.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
so this is my thing. Man, I was actually thinking about Friday the 13th today as I was writing. Not to then I just thought about it. I was like, did they never really kill Jason? Because he kind of like if you take consider the first four or the first or two, three, four, Jason and I guess his mother too, 1 through 4, like its own thing, and then after that you see the zombie version or whatnot. You have that mysterious number 5, whatever. When you see just those, I'm like, they don't really kill him, but they kill him. But see, it messed me up because I saw all the Jasons, the zombie ones first, and then I went back and watched 1 through 4. So it
yeah,
kind of I always thought he was super strong, which he is. He
yeah.
smushes the guy's head in. But having the like the motive, just it's just I guess murder porn is would be the right way to say it with Jason movies. So yours is just word porn, huh? I got some comments real quick here. Hold on. Mark Lamb. Oh yeah, that's a great short read. Guess I'll have to look for signed versions. Oh, but yeah, Mark's a collector, Jesse. So Mark's gonna if you see a Mark Lamb purchase through your Amazon, you're gonna have to give a little signature there.
Definitely will.
So I think I got Joe Garland here says Doomsday Dog was killer. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
what's up, Joe?
he
That's
says
my
hell yeah. It says you can't kill Jason, you can only send him to hell. Jason goes to hell. Which
right. That one's from part 6. You can't kill Jason. You can only send him to hell.
Tommy Jarvis.
I don't know. look, there's no like those movies. There's no continuity in them. You can't really kill. It's like you could kill him finally, and of course he's gonna come back by sheer script logic. It's ridiculous, and like that's gonna be one of the things that I like comment on in future books. I'm gonna like comment on sequels always being the same as the first movie, being too formulaic, and there's going to be a lot of commentary on like our society that we're living in now and how hungry we are for violence, whether it be torture porn or any
Porn,
other
porn.
porn. Uh, you know, um, I'm sorry, what was the question? I went off on a tangent.
No, it was just that we were doing the Tommy Jarvis. The you can't kill him, you go send him to hell. And then we were saying how we're talking about murder porn and porn, and just how people are more prone to being more violent. I mean, I blame this younger generation. I blame GTA. Grand Theft Auto. I just totally think is kind of have a lot to do with it, the desensitizing of children.
I think there's going to be a lot of factors that, and
Oh
I'm
yeah, dude. No, I just
here nowhere near the expert that I should be to comment on, like, well, this is why the world is going to hell.
I write about it all the time.
It's the damn movie. It's the
Let
damn
me.
Republicans or Democrats. It's this.
It's
I,
everything, right?
I write
Uh,
stories about werewolves. Don't ask me any secret plan. I'm not that bright.
I always say the GTA thing because it's always like I've always like yeah because they're inside. I've always wanted just to pull up a car and pull someone out, just beat them up. I'm like I never think about that when I play a video game. I want to go on a quest, on a challenge. It's like have people free will. What are they gonna do? They're gonna rob each other. It's just like okay.
I mean, and that's kind of what the appeal is of those boogeyman characters like Jason and Freddy and now Marvin, my guy. It's like we all are raised in this society to be good little boys and girls. That when we want to punch someone or we want to throw someone off a cliff or whatever, that we don't do that. It's bad, So we control our urges, even in a small way. If we're in public and we want to give someone a piece of our mind, usually we won't just start screaming obscenities at them. Some people
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but most of us will like kind of hold back a bit and try to be, polite about it, and not just immediately like you motherfucker. So we all in society have this like restraint. We're trying to obey the law. At least some of us are. But then you watch something like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, these others, or read this book, and here's this character who does not give a fuck, and he's just gonna kill everyone, and there's no holding back. So it is kind of that escapism when we watch it, and it's like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to gut someone alive? Well, we can't do it, but we can enjoy watching someone else do it. You know,
I think that's true because with like the Friday 13th, like I like watching just the kills, like just watch the watching them just do them, and I don't. When I was younger, I never thought about like, oh, I want to remake those. As an adult, I'm like, oh, how did they make that death scene? Now, how can I do it now? And how can I do it with a cheap budget? Or how did they do this? Back then it was figuring it out as well. I mean, you've been in the movie business what since you were a child,
yeah,
so you've seen a lot of the gears behind the scenes of all this. Is I mean, there's got to be a point there when you know that you're on a movie set and you know you're doing a scene and you're seeing somebody go through it and somebody getting murdered and they just get up and walk away. Where in the cinema you just see the clip of the movie and you move on. And I don't know. I just to me I think there I can connect the dots and be like, all right, that's not real, but I like to watch it. It's like I like to see that.
yeah. No, I mean, look, if the story's being told properly, even if you know how all the tricks are done, it's still gonna get you, right?
Yeah.
And I've been on a lot of movie sets, a lot of special effects shops. I've seen blood and gore applied to actors, and seen them. walking around in between takes with horrific wound, and they're just like eating a NutraSweet bar, and they're just like, "Hey, what's up?" And you get used to it. It's like, yeah, yeah, he's in makeup. You get desensitized, but then you find yourself watching that movie later on, and you're caught up in the story, and the editing's doing its job, and the music's doing its job, and the actors are doing their job, and you find yourself invested, right? So it's like that's the power of storytelling.
Yeah.
So see see past the artifice and just enjoy it. Hopefully,
Have you done or are you going to do a creature feature?
have
Like
I done one?
or like a
Meaning,
monster's the main villain or the
you
main
a movie, or like you
or
mean
anything like book wise or movie wise. Have you done anything like that where you had like a some kind of I don't know. Usually space comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, well, not space, but most of my stuff has some supernatural element to it. Pray to God, definitely a creature feature, and it's a small group of people stuck in a cave, and there's a giant monster trying to get them. So that's definitely creature feature. Skinner also, some people call that like a dark fantasy. I call it action horror, but there's werewolves and werecats, and there's a were hyena, and they're fighting over this, you child trafficking ring, and there's heroes and villains and action and gunfights and explosions. So there's like such a big action kind of story with monsters. Um, Lady of the Lake is haunted lake kind of
Wow.
ghost sort of thing. So um, yeah, I read a lot about monsters. Doomsday
Did,
Dog.
yeah. Dude, I was with you just said it right now with Skinner. I just thought for some reason it was pure action. Now kind of what you were just saying about it, like okay, it's right up my alley.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's sort of like if a James Bond movie had monsters in it.
Oh, cool. Gotta give it a
Kind of.
shot.
So yeah, and I'm working on that's what I'm working on now is the sequel to Skinner. So that's the plan is to make that into like a trilogy. At least to start, and if the trilogy does well, maybe I'll like expand into like another trilogy. With we'll see. Right now, working on book two, so I don't want to
Like,
like get too ahead of
what make
myself.
what makes a good sequel in your eyes? Whether it's a book, movie, what a story. What makes a good sequel?
Well, your characters have to be somewhere along in an arc, right? So with mine, there's going to be a book three, so I'm planning, the arc in book two, and then where it's going to go in book three. So you want your characters to go from one place to another, unless of course you're talking about dying sheep, in which case there's no character arc. There's just like stupid characters get killed, and then the main character who does not learn anything, does not grow by the end. He's still a sick fuck.
Just keeps going.
Different rules for dying sheep. Anyone who tries to apply the usual rules of writing, don't do it with this because you'll be missing the point. Um, but no, for a basic sequel, you always want to give the audience or the reader what they got in the original. Give them kind of what they expect, but not exactly, right? So
Yeah,
they want something completely out of the blue. They want what they expect out of that kind of story, but they also want to be surprised, right? So you have
yeah,
to like kind of strike that balance. So with Skinner, with the sequel, it's going to be a lot of okay, people want action, people want sexiness, people want monsters. There's going to be this element, this element. There's got to be you got to hit all these kind of bases for a sequel to this particular book, and then you have to kind of take it to the next level. So it's like, okay,
yeah.
the skin like this big, so the sequel Blackbird's Dance has to be this big.
Okay. Gotcha.
So so you always want to like take it somewhere. So you're not just repeating the same thing over and over again, but you don't want to be doing anything too different at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's all balance.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I get the way I see it is you already know your characters, so you don't have to introduce them again. Just put them in a scenario where they have to where they like the arc. I guess what you're saying, like get them where they already know what they're doing. We don't have to. We're good. Just go. Like let them figure it out. I like doing that with the characters. I got some comments here. When we were talking about Jason, he said, "Well, hell in space." Yeah, because Jason does go to space. I've always thought that, like I brought up Leprechaun earlier. When Leprechaun went to space, I was like, once they start going to space, the franchise has kind of jumped the
Yeah.
shark, I guess. Like
Oh, yeah. Well, Marvin's probably going to space.
right away.
Yeah, no, it'll probably be in like book 10 or something like that, to kind of mirror a Jason. But yeah, Marvin's going to go to space. Marvin's probably going to go to heaven at some point. 'Cause, like, he's been to hell, so I have to figure out a way to get him to heaven and have him like start murdering angels and shit like that. Um,
That's
uh,
that's the thing I
yeah,
do love about Marvin. He's got the impulse down. Like he's thinks it, and he's choking the next person. Even when he finds out that he can't choke Jim, he realizes he's like, what the hell? Why? He's like he was willing to kill himself to kill the other person. Like I like. By the way, that was a great touch. I like that.
thank you,
I
thank you.
didn't. I'd never really seen that angle right there. I was like, oh yeah, we can really do anything what you want with this. And he put it there where they're, go ahead. That's why Jim didn't care. He's just like,
Well, I had to figure out some way because I'm thinking like if I'm Marvin, like I would just kill this fucking guy. Like what's stopping him from killing Jim? And I was like, I gotta come up with some excuse. Aha! Jimmy hurts himself. Bing. There we go. Easy solution there. But yeah, no, it's fun because there are so many possibilities of like where I can take him. There's got to be like Marvin goes to Manhattan. You
oh,
know,
that'd be a good one.
Marvin goes to Paris. Marvin goes to space. E- each one has got to be like its own completely different thing. Um, Still like the same basic formula, but then different.
Yeah,
That's what they always say with sequels: same but different.
Marvin
Same.
go. There you go. Same but different. Marvin goes to Manhattan, but stays in Brooklyn the whole time and has a latte. And I was like, uh,
Right.
what is your favorite Marvin kill? Like with the one that you really had fun with? There's a lot, dude. There's a lot. So you could take your time on this one.
I
And
don't know. I don't know if I should say. Uh,
for book sales, we make sure that I don't even want to talk about the way
I,
who he kills first.
I'm not going to say which kill it was, but I'll say this. There is a person in my personal life who really pissed me off
Okay.
in the past year, and boy, when it came time to write this book, I based the character off that person, and I did them in fitting fashion. So that one was satisfying.
God, God.
It was, but if you read the book, you might be able to.
There's gotta be. All right. Thank you for. I'll get a. Just so everyone knows, I'm just being honest. I've only gotten halfway through the book. I'm on chapter 8. I told myself, I was like, if I can't, because I didn't, through timing, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to finish this, but I don't want to finish it because I can't ruin it. And then Jesse was like, dude, we could talk about anything you want. I was like, oh, I didn't want to ruin the book so people could kind of get a understanding. But you've already said it. It's right there as Jason Voorhees with a POV of Jason Voorhees, which I mean, I got to say, the way that you describe things, you describe them as the character. It's a fun read. It's enjoyable to kind of just really unplug your brain and kind of just think about these deaths. Sometimes I reread them like I did read that. Yes, he did smash the face
Thank
on. Okay, and it goes like quick. Sometimes you're like okay, then death, and you're just like okay, yeah, go going with it. It's like I mean I already have 2 of your books like I said, and I say this one is definitely now I'm getting a little bit more of a backstory because my whole thing was I actually went off. I have some videos I need to edit together, and I interviewed some people from Friday the 13th, and I asked them, can Jason Voorhees fight? And I'm always like, I don't think he can fight. He's very stealthy. He I mean, in part four, he literally there's a woman going to get her bike, and he impels her from the back, like she's defenseless. Like he kills everybody when they're least expecting it. So I was like, if you had,
Fight.
what's up?
He doesn't have to fight.
That's the answer I'm getting.
All you have to do is watch part 8 where he's on the rooftop and that dude is like boxing him and just punching him in the face. He's like, what's he gonna do? He just stands there and then he takes his turn and he knocks his fucking head off. So it's like he doesn't have to have technique, he's fucking kill you. So
That's the answer that I got from actual from Volcane Hotter. I got that from also I'm sorry, blanking on his name. I have it Sean Cunningham, the creator.
yep,
And I even interviewed what do you call it? Just the character John DeLaMay who plays Steven in Jason Goes to Hell. I asked him because I know Steven's the only one that really, because family gets involved, so Steven has to step up. And I said, he kind of beats Jason, but then they kind of got me with, well, it was kind of the mother, Jason. So I was like, okay, never mind. but
I'm not a
but
fan
of which one?
of Jason Goes to Hell or Jason Goes to Space. I mean, after part 8, it becomes a different animal. None of them are like high cinema, great movies or anything, but at least I have fun with the first 8 movies and I love them in their own way. Uh, Jason Goes to Hell and Jason Goes to Space were just kind of like, okay, no
So
longer
no,
it's its own thing now. It's different, you know.
so
But
no Jason versus Freddy.
God, Jason versus Freddy, it's one of those things where it's like if you could just edit a supercut of like 5 or 10 minutes of Jason and Freddy on screen together, just fighting, it would be fun, But as a movie unto itself, yeah, I'm not a fan.
It's with me. It's like I'm happy it exists. I saw it at the theater a couple times. I was in high school. I think it just finished. I mean, it came out like my senior year or something. But I'll say that I you know I see what they could have done with the potential, but I see where the execution wasn't there. But
Yeah,
I'm like, I wonder why it took so long. This movie just took so long to make. But you know,
you get two different companies, different rights, and nightmare trying to get that done. But I mean, it has its moments. That movie, like just seeing them on screen together and fighting and having some cool kind of back and forth with the two of them fighting, and then the last shot where Jason's holding Freddy's head and Freddy winks. It's just kind of like, that's cool. That's what we wanted. Because
yeah.
really have one of them really win over the other, you have to have it kind of be a stalemate, and that was like a wink is the perfect ending for that kind of movie,
Yeah.
like a wink and a tongue in cheek. So it's got
I
its, but I'm not really, yeah, into that one.
Yeah. Which is your favorite Friday movie? Like out of all of them?
Oh boy, my my guilty pleasure is probably number 3 actually.
The
Uh,
3D one.
it's so bad. It's so cheesy. I mean, like as far as like quality of a movie, you could say probably the first one is the best, or maybe the second one. The second one's a very good, technically made movie, still very scary. And the fourth one's also very good. But man, part 3, that one's the party. That's the one that opens up and it's like, boom, right from the beginning and 3D. And you know that by part 3, they figured out what they've got and that
Yeah.
this is fun. They're not going to take it too seriously. And also, that was the movie where Jason finally gets his mask. And I also happen to feel that Richard Brooker is at least my favorite Jason. and so that all came together, having the mask, having Richard Brooker's acting and his physicality, and it was like, okay, that's Jason. For me, that's the most Jason.
Yeah.
When we get later on and he's this like rotting zombie, and somehow he's simultaneously this big thick yoked guy, and
Yeah.
at the same time you can see his skeleton. It's it becomes kind of silly. He's just this stalking zombie, whereas in like part three and also part four, he's still human. He still runs. If he gets cut or something, he'll
Yeah.
or So it's, I don't know. It's just a different character, and I don't know that one. I don't know what it is. It's a guilty pleasure for me. It's silly. It's stupid. It's not very good. Uh, but that's kind of part of the appeal of these movies. Is
Yeah.
they're not very good. It's like, let's face it. Like, let's compare them to food, right? So no, seriously, like I like food comparisons because
No, it makes sense.
everybody has to eat, so everybody understands food comparisons. So, CJ, what would be if you and your wife were going out for a real special dinner, like, expensive dinner, you're gonna go all out. What do you get? What's your
So
expensive?
it's definitely gonna be a fish dish, the fish special, the steak special, and then if I could add like the lobster on top of or the shrimp on top of the steak, it'd be something of that caliber.
Nice glass of wine with that?
Yeah.
Maybe a nice dessert to go after that?
Yeah. And an appetizer, like a nice whatever the unique appetizer is, yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you another question. What's your favorite fast food?
Oh damn, dude, I'm like tied. Dude, I burgers, any cheeseburgers, double cheeseburgers, McDonald's, Burger King, P. Terry's, whatever local. I just like burgers.
Okay, so let's just say Burger King for the sake of
Okay.
argument, right? So you like a fine dinner with fish and steak and fine wine and all that stuff, but that doesn't mean you don't also like Burger King.
Yeah.
Burger King's not fine dining. It's not expensive. It's not healthy. It's not even the best burger. I mean, you could get better burgers at a nicer restaurant,
Yeah.
but at the same time, people still like burgers. It's familiar. It's kind of tasty. It's cheap. You get fries. You go anywhere in the country, you see a Burger King, you know exactly what you're going to get,
Yeah.
right? Got its appeal, and it's the same, and that's what Friday the 13th is. That's what A Nightmare on Elm Street is. It's these movies that are not going to win any Oscars. Uh, they're never going to be considered like great works of art, but at the same time, they've got their appeal, and people love them. And it's like this kind of quick, cheap form of entertainment where you can enjoy yourself and not have to take it too seriously. You know, um, so it's sort of like the Burger King or Taco Bell of cinema, and
Yeah.
that's what this book is. It's like, don't take it too seriously, people. Don't try to set. There was one review early on where somebody was saying, "There's no character development. There's no plot. This guy just goes around and kills all these people, and we don't care about them, and it's kind of thin and blah blah blah." And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Like, this is not that book where you're going to get character development and an intricate plot or anything. This is like, I'm poking fun at these movies that don't have a plot and just have mindless sequels, and I'm poking fun at all the people that like this kind of shit. Uh, this is a fun romp. This isn't something to think about or take seriously. So
Yeah.
go into it with that kind of mindset. I think you'll have a good time with it.
And that's what I gotta say, man. It's only 109 pages. It's a breeze, like entertaining book when you're getting into it. It is what, like your post. It was like, yeah, it's gonna have a little gore. No, it's all gore. but I like that. Like I was saying, like you put us in here right away at the beginning, and you leave us there, and then we just go on this joyride. Well, I call it a joyride. And I think
Yeah,
if you were to kind of take this book to be like, yeah, it's thin, it's where's the plot? Like it's like no, this is a headbanger's ball. Show up, and then we're done. You know, like take off. And I think yeah, I don't know, man. I can't believe somebody would write a review like that about your book when it's obvious. Like look at the cover. I mean, I got the look at the cover. Like you're not really like you're
yeah.
smashing a girl's head. You know, like
Not everyone's gonna get it. That's cool. Not everyone's gonna like me. Some people are gonna leave bad reviews or 1-star ratings just because they don't like me.
oh,
There's
personally, because yeah, because you would say right there, you've been warned. Like, come on, like, no, I'm joking about that, but I'm
there's
saying you're right. They when that happens, how do you take that? Because that is kind of like a cheap move for someone to do to you.
people, criticism.
Well, not the criticism, but like to actually just go at you like that, because it does seem kind of like you're not at that point. You're not even looking at the art. You're just being like,
I mean, look, not everyone's gonna get it. Not everyone's gonna like me. Everyone has their opinion. Um, I'm always listening to feedback. And if I'm constructive in some way, like listen to it and I'll actually incorporate. Like one of the somebody they're like, oh, such and such didn't make sense in Dying Sheep, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That's actually a good point. I think I'll address that in the sequel because, like, thinking about it, like, yeah, that's a good point. You
yeah,
know, so that's helpful. So you have to pay attention to criticism and feedback. But then some feedback you read it like that one I mentioned, and you just think the person's just not getting the intention. They're not getting the tone, or maybe they wanted something more. Maybe they
yeah,
saw that and they wanted, they were craving something that was, a different kind of story, something with like, different kind of characters, different kind of plot, different sense of humor, whatever it was, and not everyone's gonna like it, and
yeah.
not everyone's gonna like me. And there's a couple of people who I know that like every time I release a book, they don't read it. They just go on to Amazon and click 1-star review,
Oh
you know,
shit.
just to bring, my rate.
It's a different type of trolling there. So man, it sucks. It happens. Part of the game. It's part of the game. Um,
I
let
don't
me.
I don't like it, but it's not like, oh no, people on the internet are talking.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? It's like,
This must be stopped now.
yeah,
Let me. Let's go through. Speaking about people on the internet, let's talk. Let's see. Mark says, as long as you have a killer walk super slow, yet always right behind the fast running victims. Yeah, that's true. That's not a parody at all. Uh,
I've got some of that in this. There's all sorts of shit like that in this where I'm poking
what?
fun.
It's just your slasher, man. Joe Garland. It's kind of like Tom and Jerry. You know what's gonna happen, but you enjoy the creative way what that they come up with doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He said Red Lady of the Lake. It's sorry. It's got some awesome kills in it, and it's keeps you guessing.
that one's got a lot of violence in it for sure.
I gotta tell
That
you, what's
that
up?
could be on extreme horror. You know.
But man, the way you get your books cranked out so fast, that's amazing. But I don't want to take any more of your time. We're almost hit an hour, but I do have a surprise for you. And
Oh no.
I did want to give this to you the other day when we were chatting, but it was just so much timing where when I was doing the chat, you said I gotta go. You have a good one, and I was like, all right, good. I'll leave it at that. But I have a surprise for you because I don't know. We're not gonna go too emo here, but I guess this is, let me bring up the date real quick. So this is going to be kind of a little sad. I did an interview back in October of Halloween last year with Jason David Frank. He's no longer with us. He's passed away. The Green Ranger, the Power Ranger.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
so I interviewed him, and I might have got like the last interview with him or whatnot, but he passed away, and I kind of had like a I didn't realize what I was gonna do. I this interview, I put it online on my YouTube, and it's got like 24,000, 25,000 views, and people are writing some positive things about it. I was just kind of like, dude, I just wanted to have this interview with him, and just wanted to hang out. Like, he made it real easy for me to hang out with him, and then so this whole thing, this whole experience of meeting him, and kind of inspired something inside of me. That's something that I didn't really know that I had, and I started writing this story. That was inspired by him, and it's called The Power Within. So it's it's the Jason David Frank fan inspired film. I've taken a little break on it because I had to kind of unwind a little bit, but now I'm back on it, and I wanted to share this with you because it's very important to me that I share this with you because you are in this book.
What?
Jesse D'Angelo is in this book because last time we spoke about it's I have we had what do you call it, you talked to my son right before we went on air, and you and my son had a conversation, and it was such a great conversation that I was just sitting there as a father, like you were talking to him right at his level, and he was meeting you, and you guys were talking about dinosaurs, and this is when he just kept going up to people and was like, what's your favorite dinosaur, and you said, oh, you know what, who doesn't get enough respect? I'm gonna tell you who my favorite dinosaur is. Max, you ready for this? You're sitting down, and he goes, okay, and he sat down. You go, Allosaurus does not get enough respect. He's got longer arms than T-Rex. He might not be as strong, or maybe he's bigger than T-Rex. You kind of just, and he was listening to you, and he was like, So I was like, you know what? This guy inspires me. I go, I need to fill in some stories here in this book, and I have, I actually put My Manic Mondayz in the story, and it's the interview with you and I. So I could change the name if you want, but it's definitely that interview where you come out and there's a part in there where you're in it. So I wanted just to let you know that you're actually gonna be in my comic book.
Do I get to die a violent death?
Maybe in the other one, not in this one. Yeah, you'll have a cameo. But maybe I'll put you in another one where you could die a violent death.
Because the way you give props to a horror fan when you put them in your book is you give them a brutal death. So maybe for the sequel. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, man. That's really cool.
Well, now I have to kill you. So it's like, nah, dude. I thought, like, like David Lee Madison, Scott Schiaffo, Joe Ridgely, those guys from the Indie Escape, they're very like positive influences on me. So, I got to meet Tim, got to meet through you, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people that I understand why when you're writing something and you kind of give it like your homage, or I was like, it's just kind of a simple conversation I had with Jesse, and I would like to share it, and that's kind of what all it was really. And then just watching you, watching you do all your like basically hustle all your stuff on, like, not hustle, but like you're hustling, like you're like drawing and writing and everything and posting, and I'm like, dude, that's a lot. Like it's hard, but I like that I've met you, that I know that it's possible to think of it, do it, and then have it out there. So that's where I'm kind of like, and like I said, when you reached out to me, I had taken a little break on writing because I'd got everything out that I wanted. I had everything structured wise, and then I was like, well, I just need some filler, and it'll come to me. So little things like the conversation with you, little things, the conversations with other people I've had.
I'm filler.
No, like I'm just saying, I was like, this is a good conversation we had. Oh, you'll be dying soon. Actually, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I talk about too many ideas I have, and so I need to get the conception. But I do have some stuff I want to share with you once I get to that spot.
I'm to checking out the book when you have it at a point that you wanting to share it. So
actually, I do have the illustrations that I did with you already, and I think they're on point. But I can't remember I put them in this book or the other book, so I couldn't find them. But I already did the illustrations of you. But I think I'm pretty spot on. It's a fan made book. Once I get it's totally fan made, totally independent. I'm doing it on my own, just getting it out there, just so I can just get it out there. And I never thought about doing a comic book, but I just, after meeting him, after going through like the death, and then people reaching out to me and talking to me about it, and a lot of people telling me thank you, I was like, I guess this is kind of what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm trying to figure it out. But I have so much, like all the conventions I go to, I don't just kind of meet the celebrities. I meet I try to meet as many people as I can. I try to meet as many vendors as can, just because I'm learning from them, and I hopefully one day I get to go to one of your book signings, because I forgot to mention that Mark, if you're still out there, Jesse's in Tennessee, so Mark's in Tennessee, so I mean it'd be real easy for him to go to your signings, and That's what I like. I like seeing things like that. Like there's possibility to go. That's why I go to New Jersey to go hang out with Kevin Smith and all them. But those that community they have out there is amazing. It's so supportive. So a lot of things I've gathered is from going out there and having conversations with people like that are illustrators, shopkeepers, vendors, comic book owners, actors. I just it's such a great way to just because in Texas, let's face it, I'm kind of still it's here, but it's not really here. Like there's inspiration, but it's a little rough. But we're getting there.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't have any conventions slated at the moment, but we'll see how the rest of the year is looking. So far, reception to the new book has been like really positive, more so than my other stuff in the past. So this could be a big one for me. So I'm super stoked about it, and there's a possibility if it starts doing really well that I might start booking some conventions and some money getting out there and try to do signings or something. So we'll see. I'm gonna play it by ear, and and we shall see.
Real quick before you go, so everyone that's listening and watching, this is your first book that you didn't self-publish, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the fine folks over at Encyclopocalypse Publications with my friend Sean DeRager. He's the managing editor over there, and he's done the narration for a couple of my audiobooks. He did Doomsday Dogs and he did Press God, and he's just a great guy. And you know, he's one of the ones who's really building Encyclopocalypse into a great publishing house. And as I was finishing this book, I was just like, you know what? I've got a finished book. I've got a finished cover. I could just go onto Amazon right now and just upload this and self-publish it. But before I do that, let me talk to Sean. Let me see if they'd be interested in putting it out through them because it's like it's not like I'm making a killing off self-publishing. And I was like, let me try something different. Let me see how this goes when I actually have some other people in my corner, helping me do this stuff.
Yeah,
And it's been helping so much because like you have a few people now who are helping who they bring their own, qualities to the table and some of which I do not have. So it's like the lone warrior suddenly has like a platoon
yeah,
and it feels, and if you have a good system, people who actually care, know what they're doing, it feels great. You have people that have your back and are going to help. So far, it seems to have been a good move, and
yeah.
really happy about it.
Well, that's good. It seems like Wolverine. He affiliates with the X Men, but he's kind of not an X Man, but he's there. You
He
know,
does what he wants,
he does.
and yeah, I've always been a big fan of Wolverine. So yeah, that kind of makes sense how I'm like that. I kind of just do what I want, at least when it comes to writing and art. I was just thinking about this the other day, how it was like, we live our lives. We don't have a whole lot of control over things in our lives. We could get sick, we could get hit by a bus, we could die at any time. We have to pay taxes, we
Yeah,
have to build, we have to get a day job. There's so much in our lives that we don't have control over, right? And I was like, man, I'm gonna have control over my books, my art. Like that's my little world. I'm like everything else in my life can be out of control, but this is my little thing. And so I write what I want, I draw what I want, and I try not to put myself into a box. I could easily say like Jesse D'Angelo, horror author, right? And a lot of people do that. And you see their banners. It's like printed on their cards. It's printed on their banners. Horror author, splatterpunk horror author,
yeah,
extreme horror author. And that's fine. They want to like brand themselves that way. That's totally cool. But for me, I don't want to put any label like that on it because then people are just gonna expect like, okay, that's what I am. That's all I am. That's all I do. And it's like, some of my books are supernatural horror. Some of them, like composite, are just going to be straight up thrillers with no supernatural elements. And some of them are going to be like silly horror comedies, like Doomsday Dog,
Yeah.
or um, I wouldn't call Dying Sheep a horror comedy. But it's definitely got its comedy.
I'll tell
But
you, if you're into the horror death, it's there's the humor there.
yeah, there's definitely humor there, But yeah, and one of the upcoming books that I want to write is going to be like a sci-fi time travel thriller, So I don't want to put myself in a box and say I'm a horror writer. Well, then does that mean I can't write my time travel
Yeah.
thriller? Like, no, I'm just gonna write what I want to write, and however that affects my career, for the better or for the worse, I really don't care, because I'm just gonna live my life doing what makes me happy, writing things that I enjoy, doing art that I enjoy, and making the books that I want to make, and and that's the plan. So yeah.
Well, it sounds good, man. I just want to say, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, let's talk about self-publisher. I got a Wayward Soul. He did the opening new soundtrack for My Manic Mondayz. He's wrote as a musician, I write music I would want to listen to. I imagine it's the same way with writers. I would hate to write with the audience in mind. Puke.
Yeah. No, you got to find the balance of, it's got to be something that you would want to hear, and then the audience would want to hear. If you do only if you only cater to what the audience wants, then you're not keeping yourself happy.
Yeah.
And you're just self-indulgent. You're only, writing a book or writing music to make you happy, and you don't care what other people think. Well, now you're alienating your audience.
Yeah.
So you've got to find the balance where it's like anytime I write anything, it's like, does this make me happy, and does this also, is this something other people are gonna like too? So
So yeah, you gotta find it there. Well, Jesse, thank you for hanging out with us. I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm gonna finish off the show. You can hang out if you want. But you got anything to say? I can slow you out real quick. You want to just talk about anything else?
it's past my bedtime. I'm an old fart, but I mean, in general, self promo time. Dying Sheep. It's brand new. It's out. It's the greatest book ever in the history of mankind, and I know you will love it. So go and buy it. Buy several copies. Make it go viral. Shout it from the rooftops. All that good stuff. Um, Other than that, yeah, writing the sequel to Skinner. That's going to be really cool, and I'm going to write a bunch of more books. They're all going to be really cool, and everything's going to be great and fine and dandy.
Nice, nice. Just one last thing. Do you have any? If you have any, do you have any media? Any My Manic media you want to share with the viewers out there? My Manic media is what you would do to to decompress, or how to use to release stress, or what kind of a medium what are you using lately, or is there anything you want to share with us about decompressing?
Porn.
Porn.
Yeah. Um, no, so seriously, but my wife and I actually started watching um, Better Call Saul. I was going to say
Oh,
Break.
okay.
I don't know why it took so long, but we're big fans of Breaking Bad, and for some reason I kept resisting. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch Better Call Saul, and we started watching it, and it's great. So we're like, okay, now we have to stick with it. Um, but no, I've been reading books and watching cheesy old horror movies, and occasionally some YouTube videos like, failed suicide attempts and other fun stuff like that. I really like Red Letter Media. I like their reviews. I like, for some reason, watching some of these movie reaction reviews or music reaction. People
Those are big right now.
big. I don't know why. They pulled me in like, ooh, this person is gonna watch Predator for the first time. Ooh, I want to see how they react to this scene.
Yeah.
And I find myself watching this shit. That's, what are you gonna do? You got 5 minutes to eat a snack, and before you run out, you want to watch something. You got to watch something. You
Yeah.
watch, you know, we all have our little guilty pleasures and crap that we like to watch. My wife likes this show, uh, a Marriage at First Sight. She started watching it. The first episode she watched, I was like, okay, this is a guilty pleasure. She'll never keep watching this, and she's been binging it. She's been watching episode after episode of this, and I'm just like, oh my god, such garbage, But then look at the shit that I watch. So
Yeah, so it balances out. My brother, my youngest brother, Bobby, he wants to do that with me with some of his because I'm 38, he's 20, and he wants to show me his records or his artists, the musicians. I'm like, all right, let's do that. He wants my reaction to it. And I'm like, all my rappers are dead, so let's see how this goes. I've been stuck in like 99, 96 in rap music, so I need to upgrade.
you don't know no Chuck D. You don't know no Dr. Dre. Let me tell you about the real OGs, yo.
Dude, I know both Dr. Dre's. I know both of them, but
I'm older than you. I remember when NWA first came out and all of that. Yeah,
all that,
I'm getting
yeah.
old.
it you know what I'm finding out, it sneaks up on you sometimes. It kind of reminds you, but well, Jesse, thank you. You know what? I'm gonna say thank you because I did want to end it with some stuff I wanted to share with the group, and feel free to hang out if you like. But you definitely set me up for the Better Call Saul. I have a Bryan Cranston interview here I wanted to show real quick. That's kind of cool that you segued me into that. Also, I'm looking forward to watching Nobody. I haven't seen that one yet.
I have. I want to see that one for sure. Yeah.
All right, Jesse.
Yeah,
Well,
I got to run. I can't stay till the end, but thank you very much for having me, and thank you everybody who's watching. And yeah, God bless.
Yeah, thank you. And well, let's see you later, Jesse. Take care. Peace.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, that was Jesse D'Angelo. We were talking about a lot of his work, but Dying Sheep is the book out right now. It's on Amazon. Don't forget to get your copy. It's right here. Boom. Dying Sheep. That's Jesse D'Angelo's book. It is definitely, it's gory. It's fun. It's entertaining, and it's nice. That being said, excuse me real quick. I got a little cough button. Sorry about that. I did want to share a few things here. Let's start with all right. So some things that that got me excited because basketball, and I saw this highlight and I hadn't seen it in a minute, but this is the Vince Carter.
Did you realize that you had jumped over budget?
No, after the game. I just remember hitting him like that. The rim felt from me to that camera. I jumped too far. I thought he moved out of the way, fell down, whatever. And when I dunked it, I was like, hell yeah, I made that dunk because I jumped too far and I made it. He's like, yeah, boy. Nobody said a word. I just remember Steve Smith looking at me like, after the game, GP's boy had the little new camera. He showed me. I was like, wait, I jumped over him? And so they're like, bro, that's what you were celebrating. I said, I had no idea. So KG celebrating that. I'm just like, yes, I made the dunk.
They were celebrating two different things.
Hey, it's Vince Carter, VC. That's why when you see my jersey number is 15, he has a lot to do with it. So my basketball jersey number is, hey, what's up, Dad? CJ1's in the house. So that was, basketball. I love basketball. Vince Carter is one of my favorite basketball players of all time. At the same time that video came out, I got on YouTube, but I got on IG for some reason. And I saw the basketball league I play in, the AGBL, the Austin Gay Basketball League. It's we just shipwreck shooters. We lost last week. It was hard. We got our ass kicked. I don't know. Coach Popovich, Jody Joyner, he just outsmart us, and he let us have it because we beat them bad one game, but we didn't mean to, and then they really gave it to us. So hopefully they win the championship. But I got this. They posted a throwback from our All-Star game. I think we had it last. It was 3 years ago, and I hadn't played basketball in 3 years. So it kind of, I was like, oh, I was watching it, and look at your boy.
Oh, dude, my whole squad does. Yep. Oh, come on. Jeez. All right, we'll call timeout on this. All right, never mind.
So I finished it off the All-Star game, but I didn't realize how tiny it looked. But I was having I was having my what you said, Rich, right? Reminiscing on your basketball days. I'm still playing my basketball days. I just showed you there. There we go. Not really reminiscing. I never dunked over a 7'2" guy. But watching that and kind of watching what I like to do, I still like to play basketball. It's now it's more of a workout, if anything. But a lot of things I'm passionate about. But acting is one of the things I still try to like focus, filmmaking, whatnot. And it was cool that Jesse brought up Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, because I have here Bryan Cranston giving some acting advice, and I just wanted to share with everybody else. So before we finish off, let's get some acting advice from Bryan Cranston.
What did you mean when you said that an actor approaching a comedic scene can't for 1 second think what they're doing is funny?
If you're doing a sketch, like if you're doing Saturday Night Live, part of the fun from the audience perspective is they're having fun knowing you're having fun. And so you're kind of in on it. We all laugh when someone breaks character and starts cracking up and they're trying to look away. We get even more enjoyment out of it. And that's legitimate. It's fun, it's loose, it's light. But if you're doing film or a television show that's carefully scripted, if the character realizes something's funny, it takes the onus off the audience to laugh because they're doing it. You're doing it. It's the same thing when a character easily cries. If a character cries easily, the audience doesn't have to. But if a character tries not to cry, that's when the audience will.
Great advice. That was some great advice. That's at first when I was starting acting, learning acting, that was an issue I had. Trying to like not actually act, which, because the whole thing acting is reacting, but actually trying not to like act was hard. Learning how to do that, but figuring it out and practicing is always good. And then here's this show is turning to family now. You guys should be asleep already. It's past y'all's bedtime. Twinkle toes, that's what we call me when I start getting on fire on the court. Get a little twinkle toes. LOL. Yes, you have to see it to believe it. But yeah, my family's all crashing the party. There's too many Robleses here. There's too many 1, 2, 3. There's too many comments. I gotta go, everybody. But thank you for hanging out with me tonight on My Manic Mondayz. Thank you for hanging out with me and my guest, Jesse D'Angelo. Follow him on social media. I wish I had his links, but I'm pretty sure it's at Jesse D'Angelo. But yeah, Dying Sheep. Also, he was talking about Doomsday Dogs. This is another book of his that I have. Both, I've read them. They're fun. I love the way he writes. He doesn't take it too serious, but he takes the art serious. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have to like force it in you. It's just he's having a good time, and that's pretty cool to see another creative do that. It's too many of you guys. All right, I gotta go. So you invite one of us, and all of them show up, and there's a lot of us. But all right, everybody. It's an hour and 20. Thank you for coming out, hang out. I will see y'all. What are you talking about? It's still early for us. Not past bedtime yet. Yeah, right. It's like it's 9:30 where I'm at, and you're on the border, so it's already like midnight over there. So you better hurry up and get some sleep. All right. I was just gonna see. Is there a rebuttal here? Let's see. No, it's too late. Sorry, buddy. I'm not gonna let this go on. So I'm gonna end with the intro because we had that Mel Gibson quote. But I want you to hear Wayward Soul. We're also doing a shout out Wayward Soul. Follow on YouTube. And that's midnight. Yeah, down there it is. Let's see. Oh, I love you people. But yeah, I'm gonna end it with the intro so you can hear the music all over again. We've got a whole new intro for the show. So everybody, thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next week. Peace.